In the depths of ancient myth and legend, creatures were born not of flesh and bone, but of dreams, fears, and human imagination. From the blazing skies of dragonfire to the darkest corners of the ocean where the Kraken stirs, these beings shaped the stories of empires and inspired awe across centuries. Today, we journey through time to uncover the secrets of 10 legendary mythical creatures, each more powerful, mysterious, and terrifying than the last. No fairy tales here, only the raw magic of the ancient world. Let the legends begin. Dragon. Dragons have captured human imagination across continents and centuries. In Eastern cultures, particularly in China, dragons are revered as noble, wise, and powerful beings. They're long, serpentine creatures with flowing whiskers, deer-like horns, and the ability to fly without wings. Unlike the fearsome beasts of the West, Chinese dragons bring rain, fertility, and good fortune. They are believed to live in rivers and clouds, governing the weather and seasonal cycles. Emperors of China even claim to be descendants of dragons, and their robes bore dragon emblems as symbols of divine authority. Meanwhile, in the West, dragons are often fire-breathing monsters with bat-like wings and thick scales. In medieval European mythology, they dwell in dark caves or atop mountains, guarding immense hoards of gold. Heroes like Saint George or Siegfried became legends by slaying these monstrous beasts. Western dragons were symbols of chaos and greed, obstacles to be overcome by the righteous. Their breath could melt stone, their claws tear through steel, and their gaze strike terror into even the bravest knight. Across myths, dragons are deeply symbolic. In some tales, they represent knowledge and ancient wisdom, while in others, they are raw, untamed nature itself. In Hindu mythology, the serpent dragon Vritra blocked rivers and had to be slain by Indra to release the waters and restore balance. In Japan, dragons like Ryujin ruled the oceans and were guardians of pearls and powerful secrets. Even in modern times, dragons have not faded from our stories. They dominate fantasy literature, appear in blockbuster films, and inspire awe in video games and art. Their image is versatile, sometimes terrifying, sometimes majestic, but always powerful. They represent our deepest fears and grandest dreams. Fire, flight, wisdom, and destruction, all in one form. Dragons are not just monsters of myth, they are mirrors of the human soul, reflecting both our destructive urges and our longing to rise above the ordinary. Phoenix. The phoenix is a creature of flame and rebirth, found in the myths of Egypt, Greece, China, and Persia. Described as a magnificent bird with feathers of red and gold, it lives for centuries before bursting into flames and reducing itself to ashes, only to rise again, reborn and renewed. The Greeks believed the phoenix lived for 500 years, while in Egyptian mythology, the Bennu bird, often linked to the phoenix, symbolized the rising sun and the Nile's floods. The act of dying in fire and returning anew gave the phoenix its association with immortality and the eternal cycle of life, death, and regeneration. In Chinese mythology, the Feng Wang is their version of the phoenix, a majestic bird that represents harmony and virtue, often appearing alongside the dragon as a symbol of imperial unity. In war-torn lands or stories of devastation, the phoenix stands as a symbol of hope, transformation, and rising from ruin. Over time, this mythical bird has evolved into a metaphor for human resilience, the ability to rebuild after loss and to emerge from tragedy stronger than before. In literature and popular culture, from Shakespeare to modern fantasy, the phoenix continues to shine as a beacon of renewal and strength. Griffin. The griffin, a majestic hybrid of lion and eagle, represents dominance over both land and sky. With the body, tail, and back legs of a lion and the head, wings, and talons of an eagle, it symbolizes both courage and intelligence. In ancient Persia and Greece, griffins were guardians of divine power and hidden treasures. They were often depicted pulling the chariots of gods or standing sentinel over priceless artifacts. The lion, king of beasts, and the eagle, king of birds, come together in the griffin to embody a creature of unmatched nobility and might. Medieval European heraldry embraced the griffin as a symbol of vigilance and strength. It was believed that only the bravest knights and rulers bore the right to wear a griffin crest. In myth, they often protected gold from thieves and dragons alike. Griffins are also tied to the sun, acting as solar guardians, blazing with energy and fierce protection. Their dual nature suggests the union of earthly instincts and divine thought, making them both warrior and sage. Though rarely seen in modern media compared to dragons or unicorns, the griffin remains an enduring emblem of guardianship, valor, and fierce pride. Hydra. The Hydra is a serpentine beast born from ancient Greek myth, most famously associated with Hercules and his 12 labors. Dwelling in the swamps of Lerna, this multi-headed monster had the terrifying ability to regrow 2 heads for every one that was severed. Its breath was poisonous, its blood deadly, and its heads nearly immortal. Hercules' battle with the Hydra was not just physical, it was strategic. Realizing brute force would not suffice, he used fire to cauterize each neck as he struck, preventing regrowth. Eventually, he buried the final immortal head beneath a massive rock. The Hydra is a symbol of problems that multiply when ignored or attacked without thought, challenges that become worse before they are solved. Some stories claim the Hydra was born of Typhon and Echidna, monstrous parents who spawned many of Greek mythology's most fearsome creatures. The image of the Hydra also reflects themes of chaos, overwhelming odds, and the relentless nature of evil. In modern times, it has inspired everything from literature to science fiction, often symbolizing unkillable threats or corrupt systems with too many heads to destroy. In every form, the Hydra teaches that true victory comes not just from strength, but from strategy. Chimera. The Chimera is a terrifying fusion of multiple beasts, most commonly depicted with the body of a lion, a goat's head emerging from its back, and a serpent for a tail. Born from Greek mythology and the monstrous couple Typhon and Echidna, the Chimera spread fear across the land of Lycia. Breathing fire and sowing destruction, it was a chaotic creature that defied logic and nature. The hero Bellerophon, riding the winged horse Pegasus, was the one destined to slay it, using intelligence and flight to overcome the beast's overwhelming might. Symbolically, the Chimera represents the unnatural, the grotesque, and the uncontrollable. It is chaos personified, a creature stitched from multiple parts, each dangerous in its own right. In biology, the word chimera is even used to describe organisms containing genetic material from multiple sources. Its name has also become shorthand for illusions or impossible dreams, things that are wildly imaginative but unreal. Whether as a mythological threat or a metaphor for monstrosity, the Chimera remains one of the most iconic and disturbing figures in all of mythology. Kraken. The Kraken is a sea monster of Norse and Scandinavian legend, said to dwell off the coasts of Norway and Greenland. Described as a colossal creature with massive tentacles, it could drag entire ships into the depths, creating whirlpools with its movements. Sailors feared its immense size, claiming it could be mistaken for an island. Early texts describe the Kraken as capable of devouring whales and men alike, pulling the sea into chaos around it. Some believe the Kraken may be based on sightings of giant squids, magnified through fear and sailor stories. The Kraken was not merely a monster, it was a natural force, representing the unknown terror of the ocean. It could not be reasoned with, it had no motive, and it struck without warning. Over time, the Kraken found its way into literature and modern media, becoming a staple of sea horror. In legends, it served as a reminder that humans were never the masters of the sea, merely visitors, at the mercy of whatever stirred beneath the waves. Its legend continues to grow, each retelling making it more monstrous, more ancient, and more unstoppable. Basilisk. The basilisk is known as the king of serpents, feared for its deadly gaze and venomous presence. Described in European bestiaries as a serpent or lizard-like creature, the basilisk could kill with a single glance or touch. Some stories claim it was born from a serpent's egg incubated by a rooster, giving it strange and unnatural origins. It was so poisonous that even the soil it touched would wither, and birds flying overhead would fall from the sky. In medieval times, tales of the basilisk spread across Europe, blending fear of snakes with dark magic. The only way to defeat it was by using a mirror to reflect its lethal gaze back at itself, or by the crowing of a rooster, which it could not withstand. Alchemists saw the basilisk as a symbol of transformation, death, and forbidden knowledge. In literature, it became a creature of secrecy and death, lurking in shadows and ruins. The basilisk reflects humanity's fear of invisible or uncontrollable danger, the silent killer. Its legend has slithered into modern stories and films, maintaining its terrifying mystique across generations. Manticore. The manticore is a fearsome creature from Persian mythology, often described with the body of a lion, the face of a man, and a tail equipped with venomous spines or a scorpion's stinger. Some versions even grant it wings or 3 rows of sharp teeth. The Manticore was said to devour its prey whole, leaving no trace behind. Its human face was unsettling, a reflection of cruelty masked in intelligence. The Persians feared it as a man-eater, a cunning predator that stalked travelers and soldiers. In later medieval bestiaries, it took on more monstrous forms, growing more exaggerated and terrifying with every retelling. Symbolically, the Manticore represents hidden danger, threats that appear familiar but strike unexpectedly. Its intelligence made it more than just a beast, it was a predator with planning, malice, and memory. The blend of human and beastly traits made it a walking paradox, both rational and wild. Though less popular than dragons or griffins in modern tales, the Manticore remains a chilling reminder that the most dangerous threats often wear a human face. Unicorn. The unicorn is one of the most enduring and romanticized mythical creatures. Resembling a horse with a single spiraling horn on its forehead, it symbolizes purity, grace, and mystery. Ancient myths from India, China, and Mesopotamia describe unicorn-like creatures long before medieval Europe embraced the legend. In Western tradition, the unicorn could only be captured by a virgin, emphasizing its ties to innocence and the divine. Its horn, or alicorn, was believed to possess magical healing powers, capable of purifying poisoned water and curing disease. Kings and nobles sought unicorn horns as priceless treasures, though they were often narwhal tusks passed off as mythical artifacts. Despite its gentle image, the unicorn is also powerful and untamed, resisting all who try to trap or control it. In modern times, it has evolved into a symbol of individuality and wonder. While some view it as a child's fantasy, others see it as a representation of the sacred, a rare and radiant thing that reminds us to believe in the impossible. Cyclops. Cyclops are the one-eyed giants of Greek mythology, known for their incredible strength and brutal nature. The most famous Cyclops is Polyphemus, encountered by Odysseus in Homer's Odyssey. Living in isolation, herding sheep in caves, Polyphemus represented primal power without reason or civilization. When Odysseus and his men became trapped in the Cyclops cave, it was not weapons but cleverness that saved them, blinding the monster's single-eyed escape. Earlier myths describe a different kind of Cyclops, master blacksmiths who forged Zeus's thunderbolts beneath Mount Etna. These divine craftsmen, named Brontes, Steropus, and Argus, served the gods and wielded elemental power. Cyclops straddle the line between brute and genius, sometimes wild, sometimes wise. Their single eye represents focus, but also limited vision, both literal and metaphorical. They're beings of contradictions, monsters and makers, destroyers and creators. In all their forms, they show that raw strength alone is never enough, and that sight without insight can lead even the mighty to downfall. From the fire-breathing fury of dragons to the silent stare of the deadly basilisk, these creatures have haunted legends and inspired wonder for thousands of years. Though born in myth, their stories live on, in books, in films, and in the human imagination. They remind us of our fears, our dreams, and the power of storytelling itself. Which of these ancient beasts would you dare to face? Or are some legends best left undisturbed? Until next time, the myths remain, waiting in the shadows.